You know, our society is always on the go. And most of us, unless we're faced with having our car in the repair shop, don't give a second thought to our own ability to get around. Yet for millions of handicapped Americans, mobility can be a daily struggle. FYI reporter Charlotte Nichols is here now to take a closer look.
Thanks to many innovative devices, having a handicap today doesn't necessarily mean being confined. The freedom to travel whenever they want is one step closer to a more normal life for the physically impaired. Handicapped drivers range from people with arthritis or single limbs to those in wheelchairs. Although mobility for them is never easy, today's technology provides greater access to life.
Over the last 10 years, I've watched with amazement the new devices and their increased reliability. It's just been terrific. It allows people like me to go out and work and go out with my family to recreate and to some degree be independent and driving around without somebody driving me or sitting in the seat with the white knuckle phenomenon wondering when the end is coming.
Paralyzed 11 years ago in a fall at his home, David Gray once again lives an independent life in a specially modified van with a raised roof and wheelchair lift. Equipment has come a long way, but all devices eventually need servicing.
Reliability is absolutely essential. I mean, you can't be breaking down in the middle of a freeway because people like me don't get out of their van once the machine goes down. Disabled people are just as responsible for their actions as anybody else, and we need to know what kind of limits there are on the equipment we operate. So it's important that you talk to the person you buy it from and make sure that you understand, and your wife or your children or your parents or whoever's with you understand how that works.
Division Transportation Systems is one company that specializes in modifying vehicles and supplying equipment for customers like Gray.
Well, we try to take in perspective what type of facility that the person's going to be living at, where they're going to be working at, where they're going to be parking at. All that has to come into play. It's not just like this person needs a van and we just get the van and put the equipment in. There's a lot of specialized stuff on where they're going to be using the vehicle at, the areas that they're going to be using at. We try to take all that into consideration. We also get as much information on the individual, what their physical capabilities are, in order to evaluate them properly and make sure they get the right kind of equipment so they can operate the vehicle safely, because that's the most important thing. The majority of new equipment that's coming out is for quadriplegics, to have them learn to drive. Also on the different types of vehicles that can be modified. Everyone's trying to modify the minivans. That seems to be the big thing on the market today. Everyone that wants to drive wants to at least look at a minivan. They might not be able to do that or use that type of vehicle, but they want to at least look at it.
Special equipment such as steering devices, gear shifts, gas and brake controls, as well as the vehicle modifications themselves can cost as much as $50,000. Yet for Craig Davis, who was paralyzed 18 years ago in a diving accident, any amount would be a small price to pay for the freedom of mobility.
The reason I wanted to drive was so I could work and get on with my life and leave my parents alone. That was the #1 driving force behind it. I mean, I think the worst thing I had to do after you were on your own, finished college, was to come home and say, "Hi, Mom, I'm back." Only I'm back in about half the procedure. You get to take care of me for the rest of your life. That's a drag for anybody. And it was very hard for me to take. And it was very hard for my parents to take. And it's a heck of a lot easier just to simply drive out, hit a few buttons and get into the car and turn it on and go.